Hello students, so we were discussing about resins in the last class, and in today's class we will continue with the other three drugs in resins, that is benzoin, guggul and myrrh. And as I told you already that resins are generally the amorphous substances which are complex mixtures of volatile oils, their oxygenated intermediates and carboxylic acids. So we will start with benzoin first, and benzoin, it is available in two forms. One is known as the Sumitra Benzoin and the other is known as the Ciam Benzoin. This is because they are produced from two different varieties of the styrex species, and basically they also have slight variation in the chemical constituents and properties. So we will start with Sumitra Benzoin, which you must have commonly seen as a loban, okay, the loban which we use in incense stick or in dhoop, that is loban, and loban generally contains this benzoin substance, okay. So it is generally called as Sumitra Benzoin. When we heat this loban, it produces smoke and a very good smell also, because of which we use it in incense sticks, okay. The synonym for benzoin is gum benjamin, benzonium as well as luban, and the biological source is that Sumitra benzoin is obtained from the incised stem of styrex benzoin belonging to the family Styraceae. So, what is the name of the plant? It is styrex benzoin belonging to the family Styraceae. And which part is used? It is basically benzoin is produced from the incised stem, means cut stem of the tree of styrex benzoin, and mainly it is found in Sumatra, Malacca, Malaya, Java and Bone. These are the islands in Indonesia. And it is a pathological resin. Pathological resin means when there is an external attack of any bacteria or fungi, after that the resins are being produced through the volatile oils. Till now we saw in colophony it was a physiological resin, means the plant is generating it directly from its own enzymes, but here it is a pathological resins, means the fungi and the bacteria are producing those enzymes which are converting the volatile oils into resins. So, what is done for cultivation? Normally it is cultivated at a large scale. The cultivation is done by sowing the seeds in rice fields, and as the plant grows and first crop of the rice is ready, we can see that the plant is tall enough, after which it can either be transplanted or allowed to grow in that region only. And when it comes to the age of 7 years, after that the main collection is started. So, what is done, that when the plant is grown around 7 years of age, after that we see that on the trunk of the tree, this is the trunk of the tree, okay, and in that the triangular cuts, 3 triangular cuts or wounds are made either in a vertical row or in a horizontal row, and these are generally 40 centimeters apart, okay, they are 40 centimeters apart, okay. Here you can see 40 centimeter apart these cuts are made, okay, and gradually the bark in between these woods is removed slowly, okay. So, what happens, that as these cuts are made, the bacteria they go and attack the basically resins, and we have the formation of benzoin and it starts oozing out. However, the first secretion is not very useful, okay, it is very sticky and it is rejected, okay, and after that we make more cuts in this particular region which is around in between. Now, we have 40 centimeters distance, in that between distance we will make further few cuts about 4 centimeters, and from that again the secretion is produced which is harder in nature and it is of our use, okay. So, this process is we keep on repeating, we put on incisions between these 40 centimeter triangles, and we keep on collecting the benzoin for about 3 months. Okay. Now, after the 3 months is over, we shift our triangles. Okay. We will shift either upwards or sideways. Okay. So, we will shift the triangles and again the same process is repeated for 3 months. So, in short, in a duration of 1 year, we can collect the resin for about 4 times. Okay. So, fresh incisions are we keep on making, and then the above process is repeated. Second exudation which comes, it is generally milky white and it is used for the medicinal purposes. And a single tree will yield around 10 kg of the resin per year, and it is completely exhausted by the 19th year of its life. Okay. So, for 19 years you will find the benzoin from the same tree. Now, the characteristics, when this solid is produced, okay, it becomes brittle mass, breaks very easily, it means, okay, consisting of opaque, we cannot see through it, whitish or reddish tears embedded in translucent reddish brown or greyish brown resinous matrix. It means that externally it is a translucent matrix. Okay. Externally it is a translucent matrix in which the color is generally reddish brown or greyish brown, and inside that we have the main benzoin, which is a brittle mass which is completely opaque in nature, you cannot see through it, and it is whitish or reddish in the tear form. Okay. Tear means small stony structures. Okay. Now, normally the odor is agreeable and balsamic. Balsamic is very aromatic and typical benzoin like odor, and the taste is slightly acrid in nature. Okay. Taste is slightly acrid in nature. We will discuss about CMAs in the next slides, and if we talk about the Sumatra benzoin, on heating white fumes of cinnamic acid and benzoic acids are produced, because of which I already told that the smoke is used, because of the smoke being produced by this benzoin, it is used in incense stick and loban. And the chemical constituents of Sumatra benzoin are the free balsamic acids, that is cinnamic acid and benzoic acid. Cinnamic acid is present in larger concentration, almost double that of benzoic acid. Okay. So, it is present in double concentration. So, the entire benzoin has 25% of cinnamic acid and benzoic acid, in which double concentration is of the cinnamic acid and half concentration is of the benzoic acid. Then it also contains certain triterpenoids like Cea-resinolic acid as well as Suma-resinolic acid. It also is rich in vanillin, phenyl propyl cinnamate, cinnamyl cinnamate and phenyl ethylene. Okay. The main uses are, it is used as an expectorant. Expectorant means relieving the cough, removing the cough from the respiratory tract. Antiseptic, okay, you know what is antiseptic, kills bacteria, antimicrobial basically. It is carminative, okay, expectorant, antiseptic, carminative. It is stimulant, diuretic means induces urine formation, okay. Then it is used in cosmetic lotions, perfumery and to prepare compound benzoin. So, these are different, you can say topical preparations, it is used in cosmetics, okay, in creams and all it is added, perfumes it is added, and compound benzoin, it is a antibacterial or a antiseptic cream in which we add this benzoin. Then it forms an ingredient of inhalation for inhaling, okay, as an inhaler. It is used in the treatment of catarrh. Catarrh means what? In the upper respiratory tract, when lot of mucus is getting secreted, that is catarrh. So, they are in the patients like suffering from rhinitis, they can be given this as a inhaler. So, for inhalation, the tincture of compound benzoin is used. Okay. Benzoin, it also retards the rancification of fats. You know, fats gets oxidized or rancid. Okay. So, this benzoin reduces the rancification of these particular fats. So, especially in lard, we generally use benzoinated lard instead of lard, because benzoin will retard the rancification of this particular fat. The second benzoin is Ciam benzoin. Okay. Ciam benzoin is a balsamic resin derived from the stem of Styrex tokinensis. Okay. This is what? Styrex tokinensis. So, it is different from Sumatra benzoin. Here it is Styrex stockinensis belonging to the family Styraceae. Okay. And which part is used? Again the balsamic resin which is derived from the stem of Styrex stockinensis. And the geographical sources here, there it was the basically the islands in Indonesia like Sumatra, Java, etc. And here these are the Southeast Asian countries, just besides India we have Thailand, Vietnam, North Vietnam, Annam and North Laos. So, these countries are just besides the Burma, you know that we have Thailand, North Laos, North Vietnam and Annam. There we have the production of the Ciam benzoin. The tears or the blocks of this Ciam benzoin, they are in variable sizes, they are reddish brown externally. Okay. Again like the Sumatra benzoin, here also we have a external layer and inside we have the main resin which is present. So, these tears, they are in variable sizes and the external part it is generally reddish brown, okay, and internally it is milky white in color, okay, completely white in color. It is milky white or opaque internally. Sumatra resin is also opaque internally. Okay. Now, the matrix of this particular substance which is present inside, it is glassy. Okay. Glassy not in the terms of translucent, but in the terms of breaking. Okay. When you break it, it is a glassy, like when you break glass, how it breaks, same way it is glassy in nature. The color can be reddish brown sometimes, but generally it is milky white. Okay. The consistency is resinous, means amorphous, it is brittle, it breaks very easily, and if we chew it, it softens. Okay. It melts when we chew it, and again further it becomes plastic like. Okay. It further becomes like a plastic. So, it has a variable nature, the Ciam benzoin. The odor is vanilla like. Okay. There we had the balsamic odor, here it is vanilla like because it is having lot of vanillin in it. Okay. Vanilla flavor, you must have eaten ice cream and all. Okay. So, vanilla like odor, it is basically coming from vanillin which is present in this Ciam benzoin. Then it also has a balsamic taste. Balsamic is a very aromatic kind of very pleasant taste which is there in Sumatra benzoin also. The main chemical constituents of Ciam benzoin are coniferyl benzoate which is present in 60 to 80%. This is the main chemical constituent. It was absent in the Sumatra benzoin, and the main chemical constituent is what? 3-methoxy 4-hydroxy cinnamyl alcohol. It is 3-methoxy 4-hydroxy cinnamyl alcohol. Other constituents are free benzoic acids, triterpene, C-racinoleic acid. There we had suma-racinoleic acid also, but here it is absent. Then it contains vanillin and benzyl cinnamate, that is the ester of benzyl and cinnamic acid. And many times there are complex also, complexes of these acids as esters are also present in Ciam benzoin. The chemical test here is for both, if I talk, then if we heat Sumatra benzoin with 10% of aqueous potassium permanganate solution, then a bitter almond like odor is produced due to the generation of benzaldehyde. We know benzoic acid is there. So, if potassium permanganate is added, the carboxylic acid will get converted to an aldehyde, producing a bitter almond like odor. The second test is when to petroleum ether solution of benzoin, if we add 2 to 3 drops of sulfuric acid, okay, in a china dish, then Sumatra benzoin generally produces a reddish brown color. And then to the benzoin ferric chloride solution, if we take benzoin and to that ferric chloride solution is added, okay, in alcohol, and then we leave it, okay, what will happen? Ciam benzoin will produce a green color due to the presence of the phenolic compound coniferyl benzoate. So, coniferyl benzoate is responsible for the green color which is produced when benzoin is mixed with ferric chloride. Okay. So, we can differentiate between Ciam benzoin and Sumatra benzoin using the chemical test. And the uses It is basically a antiseptic. It is antiseptic. It is a culinary, means used in the food material as a flavor or a spice. It is also an expectorant. It relieves from the cough. Okay. Then same like Sumitra benzoin, it is used to prepare the benzoinated lard. In cosmetics, fixatives and in perfumery it is used. Fixatives are generally when we want to retain the smell of a perfume in any substance, we add fixatives. Okay. So, it retains the perfume in the particular either cosmetic or perfume, and it is superior to Sumitra benzoin with respect to its antioxidative effect. This has been well studied. So, it is better antioxidative. So, it can be used in fats and lard more compared to Sumitra benzoin. The next drug which we are going to discuss is Guggul, which is synonymously called as gum guggul or salai gogil. Okay, it's gum guggul or salai gogil, and it is very useful because it is used as a hypolipidemic agent. Hypolipidemic means what? It reduces the LDL and the VLDL. What are these? Lipoproteins. These are low density lipoproteins and very low density lipoproteins. They are reduced by this Guggul. So, it is a very good drug and it is marketed by many industries for this. Okay. And it is basically a gum resin which is obtained by incision of the bark of Commiphora mucul belonging to the family Burseraceae. So, what is the biological name? Commiphora mucul belonging to the family Burseraceae. So, in the bark if a cut is made, this resin comes out by the name Commiphora mucul belonging to the family Burseraceae. And the geographical source is that the tree is a small thorny plant distributed throughout India. So, we found it in India very commonly and also very useful. So, this is the picture you can see of the tree of Guggul, and if you look at it clearly, then you will see that there is the bark, it gets removed on its own. It is a thin bark which is present, which is slightly greyish in color, and when you look inside there is a green colored stem which is visible, and when the cut is made in that stem, from there only the resin, yellowish colored resin starts oozing out, which is known as the gum guggul, and it has a very good balsamic odor. Okay. So, this tree, this Guggul tree, it is a small thorny tree, 4 to 6 feet tall and branches slightly ascending, means they are moving upwards. Okay. It has ash colored bark and comes off as rough flakes. Okay. These bark, they are like rough flakes, means like you must have seen onion and all, how the skin gets removed, same way the skin is removed from this particular tree also. Okay. And it exposes the inner bark. Inner bark is green in color, which again peels off, means it is like yearly basis we have the removal of the bark. So, internal green will again become the ash colored and it will get removed. The tree itself, it starts releasing this particular Guggul or exuding this Guggul, which is a yellowish color resin. Okay, and it has a balsamic odor, and each plant yields about 1 kg of the product, and it is also very expensive. So, it is enough for one tree to produce 1 kg of this Guggul. Now, the characteristics, if we look at the characteristics, this Guggul, it is viscid brown tears. Okay, they do not have an exact shape, they are in the form of tears. Okay, whenever we talk about resins, we normally call them tears, and they are fragmented pieces, and generally because they are coming from the stem, sometimes they are mixed with the stem pieces also, and the color generally varies from golden yellow to brown in color. With water, it forms a milk emulsion and has a very good balsamic odor. The taste is very bitter as well as aromatic in nature. The main chemical constituents here are basically gums and essential oils. Okay. And the gums, you can say gums, they are produced from the carbohydrates, they are in larger amounts, around 32%, and we have around 1.45% of the essential oils. The main sterols which are present are Guggul sterols 1, 2, 4 and beta cytosterol is there, cholesterol is there, and the most important ingredients are the guggulosterones in the form of E and Z, which are the geometrical isomers. Okay. So, Z and E are what? They are the geometrical isomers. So, we have Guggul sterols 1 to 6. Okay. I am sorry, it was 1 to 6 Guggul sterols, beta cytosterol, cholesterol and Z and E guggulosterone. Now, if we look at the structure of this, you can see that this is a steroidal ring. Okay. We have discussed about steroidal ring in our earlier classes when we discussed about glycosides. So, here it is having a steroidal ring, and we have 4 you can say A, B, C, D, and we have Z guggulosterone and E guggulosterol, which are the geometrical isomer. You can see the arrangement of this bond, okay, at C17. So, there is a difference in the arrangement of Z guggulsterone and E guggulsterone, because of which they are somewhat like a mirror image, okay, and that is why the name it is E and Z type, and both are very useful compounds responsible for their activity. Okay. So, we have guggulosterones which are responsible for the activity, then we have sugars, mainly sucrose and fructose, which are present, amino acids are present, alpha camphorine, sembrine and allyl sembrol are also present, certain flavonoids, that is quercetin and its glycosides are present, and we have ellagic acid or tannin, and myrcene alcohol is also present. So, these are the chief constituents of the guggul, out of which the guggulosterols and guggulosterone are the main active ingredients. And now we come to the uses of guggul. So, it is generally used to improve the lipid profile. You know about the triglycerides, the LDL, VLDL and HDL. So, it is better to have higher HDL and lower LDL and VLDL values in the serum. So, this guggulsterone, if it is consumed on a regular basis by generally the heart patients or those people suffering from hypercholesteremia, then the cholesterol level will come to normal. Okay. So, that is the main use. Then it also inhibits platelet aggregation. Okay. Now, platelet aggregation is what? Whenever there is a wound, normally platelet helps in the platelet aggregation, it helps in blood clotting. Okay. So, it is useful, but whenever a patient is suffering from hypercholesteremia, then what can happen? That it can lead to thrombosis, because he has lot of triglycerides which are free like LDL and VLDL, and he has platelets which are aggregating again and again. So, what will happen? The coronary arteries will get blocked, that is known as thrombosis, and it will lead to heart attack. You must have heard that a person has suffered from heart attack, and when you go to doctor, he says he is having 70 or 80% blockade. So, a bypass has to be done. So, that state comes from the thrombosis, because the lipids and the platelets, they aggregate together and form a clog or a plaque. So, this basically it increases thermogenesis also. Thermogenesis means heat is produced, and because of that the thyroid gets stimulated and also the weight loss. So, again this is another good effect of this particular guggul. Then it is used as astringent, anti-rheumatic. Okay, astringent means protein precipitant, anti-rheumatic means joint pain, antiseptic means antimicrobial, expectorant, aphrodisiac means sex stimulant, demulcent means cooling effect, emmenagogue means enhancing menstruation. Okay. So, it is having multiple effects which are even proved scientifically in modern days. Okay. And then it is used in the form of lotion for indolent ulcers, in the form of gargles in the mouth, tonsillitis, pharyngitis and ulcerated throats. So, in the mouth, in the throat region, if you have any problem, you can use this guggul. So, these are the different important uses of guggul. And now we come to the next drug, which is myrrh, and many researchers feel that myrrh can be a replacement to guggul, because guggul has a widespread application, it is very expensive also. So, myrrh is a second alternative to guggul, and that is why we are studying this plant, and synonymously it is known as Arabian or Somali myrrh or Myrrha. and the biological source is that myrrh is a oleogum resin which is obtained from Commiphora molmol. Okay, Guggul was mukul, this is molmol belonging to the same family Burseraceae, and it is generally found in the Arabian Peninsula, Ethiopia, Nubia and Somaliland. So, it is generally found in the Arabian as well as African countries. And for the collection, basically you can see that it is produced from wild plants, it is not cultivated. So, the wild plants, in them, in basically the trunk part, there is the phloem parenchyma, and this phloem parenchyma, it is closely associated with certain ducts of the schizogenous cells. Okay, schizogenous cells are those cells from which the resins is produced. Okay. So, these ducts are just you can say adjacent to the phloem parenchyma, and there it has the yellowish granular liquid. Okay. Now, what happens is that whenever a cut is made or due to external factors, what happens that these parenchyma they have put some pressure on these ducts, because of which the lysogenous, basically the substance, it comes and gets stored in the lysogenous cavity. Okay. So, this gum then starts exuding gradually from these cavities outside the bark. So, we can make a incision, or sometimes directly there is a release of yellowish white viscous fluid, and it gradually solidifies to produce a reddish brown mass of myrrh. Okay. So, the characteristics of myrrh are basically, they are small trees up to a height of 10 meter, as we saw in this picture. This is the tree of myrrh, about 10 meter in height, and they consist of irregular masses or tears. Okay. Outer surface, it is powdery and reddish brown in color. So, it is slightly powdery, on drying it produces some powdery substance on the surface, and externally it is reddish brown in color, and it breaks very easily, powders very easily. The fracture is rich brown and oily, means when we break it, we will see that it breaks very easily, and from inside we have certain oily substance which is coming out. The odor is aromatic, and the taste is again aromatic, bitter and acrid. So, it has a very good odor and taste, in the sense it is aromatic. Okay. But the taste is slightly bitter and acrid. Acrid means slightly sour in nature. So, these are the main characteristics of myrrh, and the main chemical constituents of myrrh are that it contains resin about 25 to 40%, gum about 57 to 61% and volatile oil about 7 to 17%. So, I can say that again it is a oleogum resin, because we have resin, gum and volatile oil present in this particular substance, and it is a mixture of 3 resinous acids, that is commiphoric acid, alpha, beta and gamma, which are isomeric in nature. So, commiphoric acid is the main chemical constituent, and there are 3 types of commiphoric acid, alpha, beta and gamma. It also contains cuminic aldehyde, eugenol, cresol, pinene, limonene and dipentene. So, there are different types of volatile oils. Cuminic aldehyde is a aldehyde type of volatile oil. Eugenol, we have studied, it has a hydroxy group, it is found in clove and cinnamon. Then cresol, pinene, limonene, dipentene, these are the hydrocarbon alkene type volatile oils. And the disagreeable odor, sometimes people say that there is a disagreeable odor on storage, that is due to a disulfide substance which is present in this myrrh. And the gum of this myrrh, it is a mixture of galactose, arabinose, glucouronic acid, and there is also one enzyme named oxidase enzyme which is present in myrrh. The chemical test here is that a yellow brown emulsion is produced when we triturate it with water, and the second test is that if we mix myrrh in ether, then it turns red on treatment with bromine vapors. Okay, bromine vapors are passed through a ether solution of myrrh, it produces red color. Okay, and then when we keep it and add nitric acid, it becomes purple in nature. And the main uses are, it is generally used as carminative in incense and perfumes, means smell very good smelling substances, as a local stimulant and antiseptic. In tooth powder, it is used in mouth washes for disinfection, also improving the smell, means deodorizing means removing the bad odor. Inflammatory conditions, means there is any kind of problem in the mouth or sore throat, there it is used. Then it is used as an astringent in the mucous membranes to cure any kind of wounds or bacterial infections. And then the alcoholic extracts are also used as fixatives in perfumery to retain the smell of the drug. So, these are the main uses in the mouth, in the any kind of infection, okay, for perfumeries, as carminative, stimulant, antiseptic properties. These are the main uses of myrrh. So, with this we finish all the resinous drugs. In the next class we will be studying about the anthraquinone glycosides. Thank you.